Hey guys and girls, thank you for tuning in once again. I have a special announcement for you right here at the top of the show. We are entering into Season 3 of the Oregon First Hunting and Fishing Podcast. That means we're coming up on our 3rd year that we've been making episodes, interviewing awesome guests, getting to meet lots of you at our events, our hunting and fishing and shooting events. We're so excited to be able to keep this thing going. And we're kicking it off with a great episode. David Van Epps, he's a turkey guide and call maker out in Central Oregon, and he really knows turkeys. He's hunted in so many states. He's hunted with bow and shotgun. He's guided farmland, ranches, public land, mountain turkeys. He just truly loves these birds. He spends every day in the woods from April through May. And other than that, he's scouting, just learning everything he can about those birds. And plus, turkey season's coming, so I thought it was a great way to kick off Season 3, talk about some turkey hunting with someone who truly loves turkeys. I do have a disclaimer, though. We tried to record this episode over Skype, and we had a lot of technical difficulties. And so now, the first half of this podcast, David's audio is pretty bad. I got it tuned up just good enough to where it's palatable. But trust me, the second half of the episode, things are really cleaned up and it sounds a lot better. I just wanted to give that disclaimer. And also thank you for 2 years, coming on 3 years of this show, of this podcast. Please continue to listen, share it with your friends and family, listen to it while you're on the way to go hunt. And the more that you can share what we're doing, the more traction it'll get and the more that we'll want to keep doing it. But for now, it's just been great to be where we're at in the season that we're in, making this podcast. I hope that the deeper conversations we have and the conversations we have about God would really touch your heart and impact you. And if you're someone who's been impacted by this podcast, please, we really would love to meet you. That's what makes it all real, because it's fun to sit around and talk, but we want to have those real connections and engagements with you guys. So take advantage of our events. Please be there, and thank you. Excited for Season 3. Make sure you listen carefully to the episodes. I've created all new transition music and intros and everything, to spruce it up for Season 3, and we just keep getting better. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being a listener, and I'm looking forward to another year.
From the misty Pacific coast to the rugged Cascade Mountains and beyond to the high desert in the east, you are listening to the Oregon First Hunting and Fishing Podcast.
Welcome to the show. We're so glad that you decided to tune in and join us today. Jericho and Gage and I are recording here in our Salem studio with our guest, David Van Epps, who's joining us over the internet from Redmond. David, thanks for joining us. Remember to follow us wherever you'd like to stay up to date, especially if you'd like to join us for fishing trips and hunting trips. Facebook users, you can join our group at Salem First Hunting and Fishing Club. I also want to encourage everyone to share the show. If you can get one person to subscribe to our show, it goes a really long way in helping to build this community. Also, if you want to give us feedback, offer corrections, or submit a question to ask our future guests, we'll have a form online for you to submit. All you have to do is click on the link in this episode's description, and we'd really love to hear from you. Especially if you think we said something wrong or stupid and you want to correct us. We're ready for it. I want to hear it.
That happens a lot.
Yeah. Our next event, we're going to go trap shooting at the end of June. And you can also find us at the Northwest Mountain Challenge on July 11th through 13th. We're going to have a booth there. I'm pretty excited for that one. We didn't do a regular sportsman show booth this year. Just didn't work out. And also, those cost a lot of money. But the Northwest Mountain Challenge is going to be pretty legit, so I'm excited for that one.
Yes, and we will have a booth as well, but we're also participating, which
right.
I, as a new archery hunter, am very excited. In this episode, we will be talking about an Oregon poacher who will just not learn, Oregon turkey hunting and turkey call building, and have a conversation with our special guest, David Van Epps.
Yeah, and so David is known as the turkey slaying savage.
Did you give yourself that name, or did someone else?
I did not
give myself that name.
Wow.
So it works.
Wow. Amazing. Okay.
Well, David owns and runs Oregon Custom Calls, which makes beautiful custom turkey calls, and also offers turkey hunts with David Van Epps Guide Service. He runs the Giant Oregon Turkey Hunters Facebook group and is a wealth of turkey knowledge.
That Facebook group is where you and me first interacted because I posted a infographic of the Oregon turkey hunting regs, and I included in there a section of some turkey slang. And you were telling me that we need to be more respectful to the birds, right?
Yeah, I'm a probably the most old school traditional kind of turkey hunter that's out there. That's a younger guy. I mean, I'm 39, and it just doesn't seem like a lot of the people have respect for turkeys like they should. Just, my opinion. So I'm not saying you're one of them. Yeah, turkeys are a pretty cool animal. I've been hunting them for 20 years. I mean, there just becomes a respect factor with you and the bird once you're just with them that much.
Some of the slang terms are a little, I don't know what the word. It's not even like fishing though. All the different Springer lures and everything. The names are just so crass, like whoever came up with those. So it's funny. I won't list off all the turkey slang, but whenever I hear a new one, I'm like, man, who could even think of so many nicknames for these things? But there's probably a book worth, honestly, just so we can have our terminology right for the rest of the episode. What is your most respectable turkey names?
I just. Pretty much a gobbler. That's
a gobbler.
Gobbler.
Okay.
I mean, it's a gobbler or a Jake or a hen.
All right. Sounds good.
Simple is good. Simple is easy.
Yes.
My wife and I right now are working on a turkey hunting song. So
are you really?
But I haven't gotten into any of the slang in the song.
That's good.
But got to get ready for turkey season somehow, right? So you can look forward to that.
It's a good tell you're excited.
Yeah.
Apple Music here soon, folks.
Yep. Or we always start off with some icebreakers, and we didn't give you any warning about what these questions are. You can go as in-depth as you want, or just give one-word answers, doesn't matter. But they're kind of rapid fire, so Jericho's going to give you some of those.
All right, David, here we go. Fishing or hunting?
Hunting.
Bow or rifle?
Bow.
Trout or bass?
Trout.
Okay. And let's go east or west?
For hunting.
West.
How about for turkeys?
Are you saying, you're talking the western Oregon?
Yeah, like west of the Cascades.
Sorry.
Change that.
Okay, yeah, that's yeah.
See, I was surprised by that.
I started my career over in the western part of Oregon, like the Roseburg area, and then got a job guiding for a guy over east. And as soon as I hunted him over there, I said, I'm never going back.
Yeah.
With that being said, with all those places that you've hunted, though, what is your favorite subspecies of turkey?
The Merriam.
The Merriams.
Yeah, which those are the ones that are out in that central part of Oregon, right?
We have, most of the birds they say these days are hybrids out here, but we get some extremely white birds that just gobble like a Merriam's.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing like it.
So does that mean if someone's trying to get their turkey slam and they get a Merriam's in Oregon, are they going to get flack and people are going to say, oh, it's a mixed breed?
It's out there. You've always got the guys that are going to say something online. It really doesn't matter what you do these days.
That's true.
It seems like somebody's going to find something to criticize you about. So.
All right, well, let's do a quick recap on what's going on in the outdoors. Turkey season is rapidly approaching. And David, it seemed like I saw you posting that you're already pretty much booked up for 2025.
Maybe like 5 days in May, and then I'm pretty much swamped till from April 15th to May 22nd, 3rd, something like that.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
That's amazing, man. Do you ever get sick of it? That's a lot of times
After
taking
40
people
days,
out.
I'm one tired guy.
Yeah.
It can be brutal, but I love it, so.
Yeah. Oh, hey, that's great that you love it, right?
Yeah.
I know, especially when I talk with like fishing guides, I feel like sometimes people just get sick of it, worn out. Someone might go into guiding because they love fishing or they love hunting, and so they want to make a career of it, but I don't think everyone's cut out for that and eventually it just kind of wears them down.
It's not all it's cracked up to be at all. I mean, my wife's, she'll be out somewhere and say that I'm a hunting guide, and everyone, oh yeah, that's the coolest, funnest job. It is a great job, and I love it, and I wouldn't have it any other way, but it wears on a guy. I mean,
yeah, but it is an amazing time to be in the woods, watching it all wake up. I love that season.
Yeah.
So other than turkey season coming up, it's also springer fishing time. People have been catching them here and there in the Willamette and the Columbia, so that's pretty exciting. I know Gage is going to be stoked about that.
I overlook the Willamette at work, and I see boats out there, the early season guys getting after it, and it's getting me real excited. But turkey season, equally excited. Yes.
Too much to do sometimes, you know? You got to choose.
always.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Especially, I mean, the more seasons you add to your list, and before you know it, you're out there 365 days, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Our
Like,
wives like to remind us of that, too.
Yes.
yeah, for sure.
And then you just got back from from a trout derby out there in Lake Billy Chinook.
Bull Trout Derby. My dad actually took it over last year. He runs it now.
Wow. Okay.
It's the Cheatham Bates Bull Trout Derby. They have it. It's like the first weekend of March every year. So
Cool.
if anybody's looking to step up their game and maybe win some money, that's something to look into. He makes some great lures, and we catch a lot of big trout on those fish or on those lures. So
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's really
cool.
Let's take a look at the news. So this week I wanted to talk about a guy who, it's in the news cycle right now. A few different groups have talked about it. But someone spotlighted a giant buck and a giant bull during the archery season, spotlighted him at night, and shot him with the rifle. And this is on top of 31 fishing violations in the last couple years that this gentleman has racked up. Part of his punishment included a lifetime hunting ban, but here's the reason why this story's getting everyone's attention, is that he's already received 2 other lifetime hunting bans, once in 2015 and once just last year in 2024. And that's on top of many lighter violation charges beginning from when he was a teenager. The conversation around poaching can be kind of difficult sometimes depending on, you know, who you're talking about and what's going on, but this guy wasn't just shooting does to feed his family. He was going out and targeting what legally qualify as trophy class animals. I don't know what other sentences, you know, I mentioned there's 2 other lifetime bans. I don't know what kind of charges those or sentences those were conjoined with, but this time around he's going to spend 55 days in jail, 260 hours of community service, and pay $22,500. On top of that, his bow and his rifle were both confiscated. That seems higher. It ups the ante, but like I said, the reason everyone's talking about this is because it's like, well, how many lifetime hunting bans can you get? Can you get one a year and just collect them? In Oregon, I couldn't find where the price break is, but when you kill a trophy animal, what qualifies as a trophy animal, when you poach one, the penalty is worse than if you were to poach a smaller buck or a doe. Another interesting fact is when you look at the ODF&W mule deer plan, which we've brought up quite a bit, it says that the same amount of adult mule deer are poached as they are killed by illegal hunters. And that was very significant when I read that. I was like, that's crazy. So the question is, what can we even do about guys like this? I mean, the court found that he was in a good mental state. They call it a culpable mental state, so he's not like schizo or anything. It's also interesting that they just keep giving him the lifetime bans, and I mean now that's $22,000 is nothing to shake a stick at, right? That's in 55 days in jail. That's that's a pretty heavy charge now. I wonder if they'll just continue going up if he continues to poach. But do you guys remember that elk poacher from Pendleton a couple years ago? His sentence was that he had to spend 2 weeks in jail during the next following elk seasons. So, that's pretty creative, pretty poetic justice there. But But I don't know. What's your guys' thoughts on hearing all that?
Well, sometimes, like back in the day when my grandpa owned the fur shed, some interesting people would bring in furs. Well, and it was well known by the state police, and so they were actually watching my grandpa's shop. And so one day when my dad was driving home from working in the shop, a helicopter flew over and spotlighted him all the way home.
Wow.
And so, it might take something like that every time this guy leaves his house, having a helicopter there and
the helicopter
spotlight
waited
him.
for your grandpa to leave.
For my dad to leave.
For your dad to leave.
Yeah, for my dad to leave the shop.
Wow.
And followed my dad all the way back to his house. And once they realized he was just going to his house, they're like, oh, okay.
What were they thinking?
Well,
The fur ring. Maybe.
Yeah. They're going to go to the fur hideout?
If I'm being honest, raccoons were $25 a coon. Okay? So guys didn't really care where they were shooting these coons.
I see.
They can make $100 a night,
Yeah.
And so
Well, then that'd be easy.
that'd be real easy. And so
And gas wasn't that expensive.
yeah, so they were kind of rebels back then, and they'd spotlight coons wherever they were at and shoot them, and it just happened.
So you're saying they need to keep a closer eye on this guy?
That's what I'm saying.
Might need an
Ultimately, by
ankle monitor.
sharing this story, yeah,
Give it
seriously.
an ankle monitor.
If he's continually doing it, obviously a lifetime ban means nothing to him because he's going out and he's doing it again.
My first thought is the percentage of poaching. How many of the people that are committing these poaching that we actually find and can nail down are repeat offenders? And those repeat offenders, 1 strike, 2 strike, 3 strike, we got to start elevating the discipline exponentially and start. Is this classified as a felony? I'm not really sure.
Because then he shouldn't even have a gun.
Yeah, that's the thing is, man, you know what? I should have done more research. I don't know if poaching is a felony. As it turns out, thanks to House Bill 3035, poaching can be elevated to a felony if the prosecutors want to go for that for someone. So, for example, that man from 2023 in Pendleton who was sentenced to jail for 2 weeks out of every hunting season was also fined $75,000, and his case was elevated to a felony case. So he got a felony for that poaching. But not all poaching is a felony. It's up to the discretion of the prosecutors. I don't even know that information because the serial poachers always have guns, but, felons have guns all the time. It's not like, gun laws only stop the law-abiding citizens, not the, people who shouldn't have guns. But that's why I brought up the case of the Pendleton poacher who had to spend 2 weeks in jail during the next 3 elk seasons. Maybe eventually this guy's, because this crime that he most recently got charged for was during the archery season. And so maybe this guy's just going to have to stay in jail during during the seasons. That'll be the charge. She's like, all right, it's here's September's coming. Get ready to go back to jail. All right, well, let's get into our conversation with David Van Epps.
Yes. Okay, David. Why don't you share maybe your favorite hunting or fishing story or outdoor experience with us?
All right. Yeah, I gotta. You guys told me about this one, so I gotta think about it. But I got a nephew, and he has autism, and I started taking him turkey hunting. I think he was like 10 or 11. I just took him with me the first couple times. He wasn't carrying a gun or nothing. Got him his hunter safety that winter. I don't think I took him out it wasn't the youth season. It was like a week or so into the season. We go out, we're setting up our camp, and a bird gobbles back behind camp, maybe, 400, 500 yards or whatever. I'm like, throw your stuff on, let's go. and we get all of our stuff on, we run up the hill over there, and I make one call, and this bird just, cuts me right off. Like,
wow.
He was ready to go right now. Yeah. And I was like, okay, set him up next to this tree, got right next to him, and I'm coaching him. And this bird, he never quit gobbling. He just
Wow.
I didn't even have to call, and he was just gobbling, coming in, and he pops up over this little rise. Didn't ever see us, comes up to about 15 yards and sticks his head up, and I'm like, can you see him? Kill him. Boom!
Wow.
And that bird flew right off.
Oh, no.
He's just like, he didn't even know what to think. Dude, that was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. Did I get him? No, you didn't get him. He's gone.
Oh, man.
He's great. But he's since killed quite a few, and he's becoming a pretty dang good turkey hunter. He's pretty good at calling.
That's cool.
And he's got his little quirks on moving around a little bit, but he's getting a lot better. He's 18 now, so it's been quite a few years.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But he's fun to hunt with. He's got a personality to him for sure. So.
And what that story you just told, how old was he at that time?
He was, I think, 12.
Okay.
12, okay. So he's got a good 6 years of turkey hunting under his belt. He probably knows what he's doing.
Yeah, that season he missed 6 before he killed one.
Wow.
6 opportunities. Good for him.
Good for you,
Yeah, good
putting
for
him
you.
on those birds.
I was like, are you shooting like the gun with no BBs in the shell? Or that one was nice and close and right there. I don't know. I just missed him.
Yeah. Well, you know how it is with shotguns. Sometimes if they're too close, it's harder because you don't have as much of a spread.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially with the turkey chili.
Yep.
That tight group.
So did you work with him a ton before practicing shooting and preparing him, or did you just kind of jump into it?
We did lots of preparing. I'd even make him go run around and get his heart rate up for a while.
Oh yeah, nice.
10 minutes of pure sprinting, and then have to shoot a pop can at 25 yards or something. He's been good at that, but
Yep.
as soon as that adrenaline hit and that turkey was in front of him, he just
Oh
missed.
man. Well, what was the biggest challenge on teaching him? Was it the shooting, or was there other aspects of turkey hunting that were harder?
The patience.
Oh, okay.
Is the toughest thing, because with turkey hunting, you want to take a kid out there and you want it to be exciting and fun for him.
Yeah.
But if you want to go out there and kill a turkey, you got to be patient.
Yeah.
I mean, they come running in, but a lot of times I've sat there for an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours before that bird come in.
Mm-hmm.
If you just a lot of it is just giving them some time. So,
Yeah.
that was the hardest part with kids in general.
Right.
A lot of the kids, you try to put them in a blind, just so they can kind of move around a little bit, and they're not going to get caught in the wide open and pegged by a gobbler at 80 yards. They're going to have an opportunity to be able to kind of wave, because they kind of wiggle around and all, just like kids do. And
Yep.
That's the best opportunity for a kid in the blind. But if they're a little bit older and they want to do some run and gun, that's real fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. You are a call maker, and what portion of your career is that? Is that most of your job as being a call maker, and you do the guiding when it's the season, or is it kind of even wash?
The guiding's definitely more substantial than the call making. I kind of just do that in the winter time once hunting season's kind of slowed down and stuff, and from January to March.
Okay.
We do some cow elk damage control hunts over there, but not a lot.
Yep.
So I kind of use that call money to go on a hunting trip every year, or a couple fishing trips, or just whatever, something that I want to go do that way I'm not taking away from the living income. So
yeah, man, the calls are just beautiful. Seeing all the pictures you post on Instagram, and what got you into making calls? How'd you get started?
I kind of always, my dad was kind of a woodworker kind of type guy, not extreme or anything, but he started building a boat in his shop it's an all wood 18-foot flap bottom sled that he was building. And he picked up a lathe somewhere or something, and I just was kind of, I always use pot calls and all that, so I was like, let's throw a piece of wood on there and see what happens, and made a call, and then kind of just started messing with it more, and and then now it's what it is today. They're the first ones were they were pretty crappy compared to the ones today. So
you got to start somewhere, right?
Prototype. There's prototypes.
Prototypes, and maybe one day some of those old ones will be worth some money for somebody. So.
Yep. Maybe. Yeah. You got to put them in a glass case. Hand them down to the kiddos. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And you make pot calls mostly, because there's a bunch of different kinds of turkey calls. There's mouth calls, box calls, pot calls,
push button calls,
yeah,
diaphragms, and all sorts of stuff.
Are slate calls?
Wing bone calls too. They make out of the three pieces of the wing of the turkey's wing.
Oh, really?
Whoa,
that's
cool.
And
then they got, oh man, there's quite a few different ones.
But you landed on pot calls.
Yep, it was just something that I could make on the lathe, and I didn't really need a ton of machinery, I guess, to make them. You pretty much just need like a drill press, a chop saw, and a lathe.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the myrtle wood ones that I make, I actually cut those trees down, dry them.
Wow.
And plane them, and the whole works.
Wow.
Because it's kind of a rare tree. They only grow in a few states in the United States. So
and Oregon's one of them.
It's harder to get a hold of that stuff, and luckily I got some family.
So on that subject, is myrtle wood your favorite wood to work with, or what kind of wood do you generally use?
Mostly right now, I got some walnut and some. It's called Osage. It's like a yellow wood. I have to order that from a guy over. He lives in Tennessee. I order it from him.
Okay, cool.
I really like that wood. It's just like the density of the wood and just everything about it. It turns really nice. The density is like perfect for a pot call, just for that sound. And then I started using the green slate instead of the gray slate a couple years ago, and I put that green slate with the Osage, and I just that call just can't kill enough turkeys. He just wants more. Nice. It just keeps eating them. I mean, it's they just got to come check it out. I don't know what it is about it, but they like it.
Yeah, because it would have to be something the turkeys can hear the difference then, right? It'd be the tone of it or something.
And I mean, I've had so many times where I'm just calling to one, like mouth calling or whatever, and then either hit like a box call or hit a pot call, and he responds and then he comes in. But and sometimes it is just the tone, and I have the same cadence, so it couldn't be the cadence.
Yeah.
And it's got to be the tone sometimes, because you just switch from one to another, and then all of a sudden he's working his way to you instead of walking away, and you're what the heck?
Yeah.
I'm cool with it, but what the heck?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, thinking of it from our human lens, if someone was trying to imitate a person, we can kind of distinguish that right off the bat, right? Like if you listen to like an AI like voice recording, I can pick up on it within 3 words, right? And I'm sure that's the same thing, especially if those toms, I don't know if their mind's a little clouded with the time of the year.
They want it to be a hen.
Yeah, they really want it to be.
They want it to be, for sure.
Yeah. So
your cadence has a lot. I think cadence has a lot to do with calling birds in. Just having that same cadence that a real hen has. Because I mean, I'm definitely not a contest caller. I mean, I can run a pot call pretty dang good, but I'm nowhere near any of those guys, that you watch at the at the national convention.
It sounds just like a whole flock of turkeys coming out of one guy's mouth.
I mean, those guys are just unbelievable, and I'm nothing like that at all, but I put birds in people's laps, so I'm doing something right, and I'm just going to keep doing it. So
You just make those guys' calls. You just make the calls that sound crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and so I'm curious about the slate. Do you have to like machine that yourself or sand it down or chip it off? Like, how does it come to you?
No, I just buy it and it's pre-cut.
Okay.
In the certain thickness and this certain dimensions that fit that I want.
On your calls, I've seen like where you put someone's turkey feather in there or something. Are you glassing that into under the slate, or is it on the wood part? In my mind, it's on the face of it.
Okay, so you have your top surface. Say it's slate, glass, crystal, titanium. I mean, there's a whole bunch of top ones, but underneath of that, there's another piece.
Okay.
Oh.
So that's called your soundboard, and that sits on like a little pedestal that I machine out with my lathe tools, and has certain dimensions to it to make it sound right. And I have a lot of different dimensions, and everyone's not exactly the same because it's a custom call. I cannot make them perfect like a lathe or like a CNC machine, but it's to a certain very close dimension. That other piece sits on the top called the soundboard, and then I'll glue the feather on there. And I have people just send me their feathers from their birds and throw them in there for them or whatever, or one that I have here or anything they want. So
yeah, okay. Business pretty busy?
No, I do decent. I don't really advertise a ton.
Sure.
I just post pictures of the calls that I'm making, and a lot of it's just word of mouth, guys that have bought them in the past or whatever. And I try to stand by it if something breaks or whatever, or the wood cracks or something happens to it, just send it back and I'll send you a new one. I mean, or I'll try and fix it. If I can't fix it, I'll just send you a brand new one. And I'm going to stand by it and everything because it is, a handmade product. So some things can go wrong sometimes. And I definitely want to keep guys happy with them. So,
yeah,
absolutely. The customized piece is super cool, I think. And it personalizes that thing for the hunter.
Yeah, and I actually do custom engraving on there too, so you can put your name or, a small logo or something on there to personalize it even more. So
yeah, man, it could be like a retirement gift or some exactly. Commemorative.
Multiple people get them for their dad's birthday or whatever, something like that.
Oh, that's great.
We talked about the different wood a little bit, and you kind of mentioned, they're not all exactly the same, but how did you learn what depth to lathe everything out, and how did you learn all the little intricate pieces of making a pot call?
Well, there's definitely lots of trial and error, lots of glue, lots of wood flying. I'm always a guy to just kind of reach out to some guys, call other call makers and kind of just pick their brains a little bit. And there was quite a few of them that I talked to, but one guy in particular, he helped me a ton. He's like he wins a lot of competitions and stuff like that. He makes some amazing calls, and he helped me a ton. He gave me, he didn't just tell me, but he gave me some ways to move forward with it. So,
that's
I just kind of trial and error and him helping me, and now they're what they are today. So,
yeah. Is there a big group of turkey call makers, custom turkey call makers, or you reaching out to people?
It's quite a big, it's quite big. They have at the National Wild Turkey Federation banquet thing, they have a call makers competition.
Oh, wow.
And there's like thousands of calls. And I mean, you definitely go online and check some of the calls that some of these guys are making. I mean, like a box call that has like a turkey on top of it with a bobcat like jumping up towards the turkey, like, you know, that's all woodworked, like hand woodworked, like crazy stuff like that these guys are making. So yeah, you guys have to check that out.
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, those aren't like the because they test all the calls. There's judges that go through every single call and try them, and then they give you a score on how they like the call. And they do, I think, 5 judges for each call, and then whoever has the most points at the end wins. That call wins or whatever. So, and you win. You know, I mean, medals are in the call world. People like medals because they think you actually did something. You know.
Sure.
Buy more of them. So it's a pretty fun deal. It's pretty competitive, though. There's a lot of call makers, and there's a lot of good call makers.
And for those banquets, is it exclusive to the Central Oregon area or the greater Oregon?
What I'm talking about is the one in Tennessee.
Oh, the
large.
The big giant one, the one that everyone comes from the whole United States and goes to Nashville, and it's just a 5-day sportsman show of turkey hunting.
Wow.
Yep.
And every single company that has anything to do with turkey hunting is there. And that's all it is turkeys. And they have the call makers competition. They have the world champion calling, you know, Matt Van Sice, Dave Owens, all those guys. You can sit down and actually watch them call. I haven't made it there yet. I don't know if I want to go and meet that many people. It probably would be fun.
That's great. Yeah, the National Wild Turkey Foundation, I always forget. The National Wild Turkey Federation does quite a bit of turkey work around. Do you know if they've done very much locally? I know we have quite a few members here in Oregon.
Yeah, I don't know. I know the guy that runs I think it's either the Bend or Prineville one. His name's Chris Henry. They do. He's out doing stuff all the time.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think that they're probably working more like on the East Coast with all the declining turkeys and stuff, because our turkeys are flourishing. We're not having any problems with birds right at the moment. We have almost too many.
Yeah.
A lot of these farmers and ranchers are not very happy with 400 turkeys on their haystacks for 3 months in the wintertime. So,
well, that's kind of a whole problem, is all the turkeys are in the donut of, you know, there's like, at least out here in the valley, you can imagine the cities and all that kind of private land where you can't hunt. Yep. And then
they found that they like the towns and they can get free food and mess up old grandma's garden, and she gets very mad.
Yep. That's why most of us valley turkey hunters are hitting the foothills, you know. The ones that kind of expand onto the public land and then they get poked off, but you know, most of those turkeys are on farms and cities and stuff.
Down in the low ground in the fields and stuff for sure.
Yeah, you got to get creative sometimes, or just go ask for permission. Is it like that out there in the central turkey hunting, or is it mostly public land?
I hunt a lot of public. I have I think 10 or 12,000 acres of private that I guide on.
Sure, yeah.
But I do take guys out on the public. I mean, the public is really good. I do very well out there. I think I've only had one guy in the last 5 years not kill a bird.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's plenty of turkeys. You just got to put in a little work and you can find them.
Do you have to give a warning to your customers before you take them on public? Are they always expecting to go on private land, or do they just don't care because they know that you're going to get them on birds?
Well, I mean, every guy's different. Some people just, they have the mindset that the turkey hunting is like it is, say, in Tennessee. I'm throwing out Tennessee a lot tonight, but the turkey hunting over there is nothing like the turkey hunting is here. I mean, over there, if, you're out on the public land in the foothills and you hear one turkey, you're doing good.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, and if you hear 2 or 3, like, you're doing really good. Out here, if I don't hear 10 or 12 in a day, I'm not happy. So, it's I'm just like, what's going on? Where are they at? Why are they not gobbling? There's lots of birds. If you can cover some ground and you can hike a little bit, there's lots.
Interesting. I wonder why that is. Is it the population pockets in these little foothills around here in the Cascades and just the greater Oregon area? Is the population not as dense of hunters here? I know over in the South or on the East Coast, turkey hunting is really popular.
Yeah.
That definitely makes it way harder. I mean, the more people that are out there chasing them, the harder it's going to be for every person.
Yeah.
And they don't have the populations of turkeys anymore that like we do. And there's the whole 49 state slam thing that's going on. And that's 98% of the guys that I'm taking are doing the 49 state slam.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, there's a few guys that I have that come every year. Almost all of them are doing that 49 state slam. They're trying to get that done.
I keep thinking someone needs to dump some turkeys in Alaska.
The new big thing in turkey hunting. So it's to kill one in every state that has a turkey, and the only one that doesn't is Alaska.
Because even Hawaii has turkeys.
Yeah.
Yep. Hawaii has lots of turkeys, and you don't even have to buy a license or anything. You can just go over there and shoot one.
Wow.
Yeah, that's cool. I told my wife, someday we're going to make it to Hawaii, and when I'm going, I'm bringing my bow, and I'm going to, there's stuff to hunt, and I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So, yeah, that's the 49 state slam. That's a big deal these days. So
it's interesting, though, this 49 state slam, to think that Oregon originally didn't have turkeys. They were all planted here in 1961, I think it was. And we didn't have an official spring season until 1987, I think is what it was. Huh. And so it's all these birds have been the work of ODFW and
hunters.
And hunters, bringing these birds, stalking these birds, so to speak. And
now they're truly wild. There's not an existing turkey stalking program in Oregon that I'm aware of.
Wow.
No. I mean, they might relocate birds.
Right.
And I think they're just kind of killing some of them because these ranchers in the wintertime are getting pretty mad about how many of them there is.
Well, there'll be a flock of 100 birds.
Yeah, they did that late season thing where you can shoot like 6 hens or something.
Yeah,
I think it's up to 9 tags you can get now or something like that.
Yeah, it's they're trying to knock them down a little bit because I mean that's ODF&W, in my opinion, doesn't do very many good things, but they sure did a good thing with the turkeys.
Yeah.
They got the turkeys going, and they're here to stay.
Well, they have the same problem with the elk, and it all just kind of comes down to this issue where all these animals want to live on the private farms, and you get a herd of 100 elk living in a field all winter,
or a golf course,
just destroying it. And the turkeys, it's the same thing. I know I've heard of a couple flocks around in our area where there's just hundreds of turkeys living on one farmer's property.
And they definitely in the wintertime just flock up and go to the safest, easiest food place that they can get for sure. Luckily, here we get a huge disbursement once the weather gets warm and the snow starts melting. The birds, about a week to 10 days before the season, they just vanish from these some of these private properties. I mean, there'll be 200 turkeys, and then like 2 days later, there's like 8. And they're just gone. They just disperse up in the mountains, and they're just following the hens, or the hens are going to wherever they're going to nest or whatever it is they're doing. But we have a huge disbursement of birds. They just push up once that snow hit. Or
the reason why they disperse is because they're trying to go up to the freshly melted areas, which is probably the nesting areas. Is that?
Am I right about that?
Yeah. They're getting more to the nesting areas and just following that snow line up, getting that new green up stuff. And
What's the highest elevation turkey that you've hunted?
Maybe 5,500 feet.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean,
That's up there.
higher than most of our mountains out here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. We're mostly hunting them in the 4,000s, but it just depends.
what's the base level? Like, what elevation is Redmond at?
Oh man, I don't even know. Like a couple thousand, 2,500 maybe.
Okay, so you're still going decently far up there.
Yep. Yeah. Where my guide operation is based out of is 3 hours to the east of Redmond.
Oh, okay.
So
Well, I kind of want to get into sounds a little bit, turkey sounds, and with those slate calls or those pot calls, what kind of sounds can you make, and what kind of sounds bring in birds that you have noticed the most?
mostly, I'm just yelping. Like I said, I think the cadence has quite a bit to do with it. I do what they call a bubble cluck, which is a little bit different of a cluck. It's more kind of a high-pitched like cluck, and you hear the birds doing that quite a bit because I get to be around them a lot in the wintertime. I get to watch like 300 turkeys all winter. So you get to hear some of the, just how they communicate to each other, I guess. And for some reason, that bubble cluck, something clicks in them. I don't know what it is or whatever, but they gobble to it, and they just like that call. I don't know. That's just what's worked for me. That was a thing that I picked up from Scott Ellis, which he works for Woodhaven Calls, and he's a big time turkey hunter in the turkey hunting industry. Most guys, if you've turkey hunted, know the name Scott Ellis. So he's the one that turned me on to that, and I started trying it, and I was like, oh man, they like this. So.
That's cool. One thing, as I'm learning how to turkey call, I used to do a lot of putts, like, pss, pss, kind of a thing. And then I started to notice that the only time I hear a turkey do that in real life is when they're like nervous about something. And so am I wrong about that? Like, what are some of the sounds turkeys make that are associated with, because like I would do a lot of purrs to try to, get some of that. Some of the toms I've encountered really liked the purrs for some reason. And then I would start doing some putts. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, is that something stupid? Should I not be doing that?
If you're calling a bird in and he's coming in and he's gobbling to you, and then you hear that noise, I mean, it's all done. Like,
exactly.
You're over.
And that's the noise you're making.
But if you learn turkey body language, like if you really study the way that, like, 100% that bird's gonna leave, or because sometimes they'll cluck and they're still coming.
Yeah.
But sometimes they'll cluck and he's not. Like, so I try to read the body language a little bit because there's not a very, it's a very subtle difference on the cluck or a putt.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's very little. I just try to read their body language. If you see him flap his wing and like put his wing kind of up, like open it up a little bit and then put it like he's gonna leave. That bird has seen something and he's leaving.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the body language things that I picked up a long time ago is if they flap that wing 99% of the time, he saw something or he doesn't like something and he's gonna leave.
Yeah.
The putting, I kind of just let it play out. I'll just be quiet and just let it play out. And I mean, if you don't spook them real bad, sometimes you can kind of just let them move off and then circle around and try him with a different call and get on the other side of him or something. But the just really soft clucks and stuff like that, and like those bubble clucks are loud and high pitched. Let me see if I can find a a mouth call right here, and I could show you. It's only really on a mouth call that I can get it to like get that high pitchedness to it. But let's see if this thing's warmed up at all. That right there.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, so that is really high pitched.
Almost a bubbly front end to it, and then a really high pitched at the top, at the end of it.
It kind of reminds me of the sound. I've tried to learn. No, I haven't tried to, but I've had chickens my whole life. I've always been a chicken raiser. And there's certain noises like the rooster will make when he finds food and he's trying to get a hen to come, or, you know, even the hens will make noises when they find food or they're doing this or that. And I feel like, you know, there's turkey equivalents, and I feel like that bubble cluck you're doing there, man, it just reminds me of a noise I've heard my chickens make before, which I don't know how much of that crosses over or not.
You know, I get a lot more time to mess with them than a lot of people do. You know, a lot of guys get to get out for a couple weekends a season, and they want to kill a turkey. I mean, They got 4 days to kill a turkey. I got 40 days to kill him. Like, if I have I don't have to kill it. Like, if he doesn't come into like the yardage that I want him to be in, then he can just walk.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have to kill a turkey to feel successful.
Yeah.
I mean, I've shot a lot of turkeys, and it's just, I mean, I like it the certain way, and that's, I guess, the way it is.
Yeah. Well, what is your favorite way to hunt turkeys?
I just put my vest on. I got like 2 or 3 pot calls in there. I got a short box and a long box, and I got 2, maybe 3 different styles of mouth calls and my shotgun, and I get out of the truck and go.
All right.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Just walking through the woods, going through good turkey habitat.
Yep. Just walking skid roads. Just driving from spot to spot. We do quite a bit of road bugling, we call it. I mean, I have found and killed a pile of turkeys road bugling. So
Yeah.
All right, man.
Wow.
Oh,
From
how
the
about
road.
shock gobbles? Do you rely on those? That's a pretty popular topic of conversation that I have no experience trying to ever get a shock gobble.
yeah. So if I'm roosting birds, then yes, I'm trying to use something other than a hen.
Sure.
But if I'm actually pursuing a turkey or just trying to get a bird to answer me or respond, I'm using a hen call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not just going out there and blowing a crow call just to blow a crow call. I mean,
Sure.
I want him to come to a hen call, so I'm calling to him with a hen call.
Yep.
I mean, there is a time and place for it. Like, say you've struck a bird across a canyon and you're kind of moving in on him, and you don't want to just call and move in and call and move in and call and move in, because a lot of times you'll just push them away. If they have hens, the hens will kind of like not want you to be with him, and they'll kind of try to keep him away from you, is how I kind of see it. But I will use a crow call or something. You know, a goose call works pretty dang good. Something high pitched, just so you're not just calling and moving in and calling and moving in.
Yeah.
But you know, if I called and he answered across there and I kind of knew where he was, I'm just going to circle around, or I'm going to drive around there and get out, and I'm just going to hike out somewhere where I know I'm way closer to him, and I'm just going to set up and I'm going to start calling, and I'm going to give him a little bit. If he doesn't answer me, I'll give him probably an hour. I know he's there somewhere. He's not gobbling does not mean that he's not there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. A whole hour you'll give him.
Yep.
And you're calling throughout that whole hour, or you're just waiting?
I'll call some, and I'll be quiet a little bit too. You know, I'll do like a sequence of calls for maybe a minute or two and sit there for 15 and not say a word.
and then 15, 20 minutes later, give them a little bit more, and then I'll quit for maybe 30 minutes, and then I'll get to that hour point, and then I'll really start like getting after it to see if I can get him fired up. If he hasn't responded to me at all or anything like that, I'm going to try to get him fired up at that point. But I'm going to be patient, and I've had them quite a few times just show up, never gobble. And the only reason that I heard him coming is I heard him drum.
Whoa,
man.
Wow.
So for me, I mean, you got to have pretty good hearing to hear the drumming.
Especially from a distance.
That is a major key. And if you can key into that sound, you're going to kill more turkeys.
Okay.
Like it tells you that they're there without you having to do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I can hear it maybe 70, 80 yards away sometimes. It just depends on the terrain.
Yeah.
But I'd just be sitting there and I'm waiting, and I heard this turkey gobble, and he was gobbling, and he just shut up. Okay. So I'm just sitting there waiting, and then all of a sudden I hear to my right.
Yeah.
Like 60, 70 yards. And then I'm like, oh crap, he's right there. So I had the extra 2 seconds to be able to move.
Yeah.
Because if there's no way, I'm left-handed, I'm not going to be able to swing that far around. I can still swing pretty far, but I need to scoot around on the tree a little bit. So do that quickly, get around there, and I was set up. Boom, he came out, and I killed him.
Yeah.
So, being keyed in on your surroundings, everything. I mean, just be listening and your eyes peeled and just paying attention so you don't get caught with your pants down.
Yeah. I'll be the guy, I guess. I'm new to all this, but the drumming that you referred to, so it's like a deep, is it like a neck, like
It's a vibration that in their wings.
Oh.
When they strut.
Oh, interesting.
There's a few really good videos out there. If you put if you put a pair of headphones on, and then played it, you could really hear it. But it's something that you really have to hear and have somebody almost point out to you.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard a grouse drum? Like a grouse go.
Oh man, I don't know if I can point that out.
Jericho and I have heard that a couple times, and you more feel it than hear it. I remember the first time I heard a grouse drumming, I was actually with Jericho, and I could, for some reason, in the back of my neck, I just felt like this kind of bass.
It's a real bassy sound, and the turkey, it's the same exact tone as the grouse.
Yeah.
But it's just a different sound. If you get around some turkeys strutting this spring, you'll.
Oh, he will.
Oh, I will.
Yeah. I used to have some turkeys, along with my poultry endeavors. But it was such a noise that as a kid, when I heard it, I thought they had like an air sac he was beating on, because it's like you hear it like that. They make kind of that noise first, and then I would hear a boom, kind of a bassy sound, and with the drumming, and I always thought as a kid that they had some sort of air sac he was filling up. That's how I imagined it as a kid. But it kind of sounds like you could make that sound with a balloon almost.
Yeah, it's like a gorilla. Like the gorillas.
Gorilla?
They fill
Like
up
on their chest. Is that
What
what
do
you're
you mean?
thinking?
No, they have this thing. Okay, we're going way on the other
Gorillas?
side of the
No, I need to
world.
know what gorillas have to do with turkeys. Please enlighten me.
I saw this one video. All my time with gorillas, Yeah.
Shane Goodall over here.
Yeah.
Come on.
So they fill their chest up with I don't know if it's a sack or it's just their chest.
Really?
They go like that.
What?
Yeah, and it's the scariest, most intense noise you've ever heard.
Heard that.
Yeah, but
Wow.
it's just the lowland gorillas.
Oh,
Yeah.
not the highlands gorillas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever those guys are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The turkey drumming's a little. It's a little harder to hear than that, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But if you just kind of key in on that sound, and once you hear it, then you'll always be able to hear it. But it has helped me quite a bit on killing birds. Just being aware of everything.
Wow. Yeah.
That's kind of like their courtship type, thing going on, right? Like they're
I'm guessing that has something to do with the hint, who she picks, or that each one has a little bit different tone, or one of them's stronger, or one of them's not. I don't, because she's trying to pick the biggest, baddest Tom to breed with to get the best genetics, So
Are they like deer? Can one clutch have multiple? Because they only lay one egg at a time, so they could have a whole bunch of different.
She will breed multiple she will breed multiple gobblers.
Okay.
Yep, and it all kind of just mixes together, I think.
Yeah. Whoever can happen to be the winner.
Yeah.
So, thanks for all those tips on turkey calling. Sounds like the next thing someone needs to invent is a turkey drum call. And I don't know. Do you ever gobble? Do you ever make gobble birds in to fight?
No, I haven't. I just had too much luck with a hen call, and
yeah.
I guess I don't know. I'm hunting public, so I just try to keep it
simple.
Where some other hunter is not trying to pursue me. That'd be pretty.
right. Yeah.
Oh man.
You don't want it to be like elk season and you go down to the bottom of the canyon and somebody bugling.
It's a dude.
It's a Doug Flutie, right?
It's a Doug Flutie, man. So, what are some things you've learned about hiding yourself? Like, how do you make yourself less visible? My hope, I'm always looking for the turkey who's half blind and hard at hearing, but most of them have pretty good eyesight. So, do you have any kind of special things you do or that you show clients for hiding yourself?
I think the biggest thing that I do that I don't know how many people actually do this, but I just walk out to a spot. Okay, I'm going to call right here. So I look around and I pick a spot to set up. Like every single time that I call. So if one answers me at 80 yards away and he's right in my lap almost already, that I already have somewhere that I can get to that I've already established. So that way I'm not just caught in the open.
Oh man, yeah. That's a great tip.
It bit me in the butt a few times, so that's why I'm like that. No, I've had it. I just walk out there, call, boom, and he's like right there, and I'm standing in the wide open with no tree in sight. And I'm like, oh, great. That's all over.
I can think of a couple situations where I hear a gobble, and then I start panicking, looking around, and I walk over to one tree and then I walk over to another tree and I'm moving all around trying to find a spot. And then you sit down and you can't see.
Kind of go, and even if I have to walk a little bit farther or if I have to walk back up the road a little ways or whatever, I'll find a spot where I can kind of set up if he answers me over here and kind of have a spot where if he answers me kind of this way. That way I have a couple different spots where, if he answers close and I need to set up fast, that I'm already ready.
So the terrain you're hunting is probably way different than what we're going to hunt because you're, 3 hours east of Redmond. And what I find often is that my first inclination is to find a brushy spot to kind of tuck myself into where I can look like 180 degrees in front of me. Is that like a beginner's mistake, or what kind of, do you look for trees or boulders? Like what's your go-to when you just got to sit down and the bird's coming?
In the bushes is fine. Just somewhere where you're not going to be hitting branches when you move, or when, say, he's coming across the field to you or something, and then he cuts to the right and hits the fence line, and then he's coming down to you.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of coming kind of straight at you, you got to turn to the right or turn to the left or whatever. That way you're not turning and like moving the bush, because he's got you at that instant. He's got you pegged. They can see. Their sight is unbelievable.
So so that I'm dreaming when I say, oh, he'll think I'm a hen in the bushes.
Yeah. He's like, oh, there's a bobcat. See you later.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
But me, I try. You guys are hunting more fields, edges of, there's meadows and that kind of thing where I'm at, but we're hunting them more like in the timber. Mm-hmm. So I just try to use a little rise, a little ridge, a little something where that bird has to come.
Yeah.
Where I can see him and I can kill him when he pops out.
Yeah.
Like, so he's within range. Like, as soon as he pops up, I got him. Like,
Yeah.
when he's in range. I'm not going to, unless, sometimes it arises where you don't have that opportunity. So you just kind of have to roll with it and just hope it works. But, I'm trying to find somewhere where he has to come around a corner or over a ridge to be able to see where the calling's coming from. And by that point, he's already a dead bird.
Right. Yeah.
So don't set up where they could see you for a long distance.
Yes, absolutely. If you're out in fields and, everybody uses a strutter decoys these days and hen decoys and whatever, and you can definitely get them to just run right across the field to a strutting decoy. But, if you're having a tough day and they're not playing with that kind of stuff, what I'll do is just try to pinpoint, where he's at, and I'm going to move in there and try to get as close as I possibly can to him without calling or making a noise at all, and just slip right in there and just kind of set up and just call a little soft to him and just kind of dink with him a little bit and see if you can get him. Sometimes you just get in their little bubble, even if they have hens, and they just right over. They just come right to you. And you just get in that right little spot where he feels comfortable or whatever it is, and or kind of like a bull elk where another gobbler tried to pull a hen away, or another bull tried to come in and take a cow, or a cow walked over here and he didn't see her walk over there, and then he hears her and then he tries to go round her up, kind of a thing.
Right. Yeah.
Same kind of a concept.
And
they are a lot like an elk.
Yeah.
If you're, running gun calling elk, bugling, cow calling, just covering ground, trying to find a bull that wants to bugle to you, a lot of the same things pertain to a turkey, other than you don't have to worry about the wind.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And I've heard they only have to hear you like once to know exactly where you're at, right?
They pinpoint you so fast. It's unbelievable how far away they can come right to you.
Right.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
So my idea of climbing a tree is probably not a good idea.
The first time I ever went turkey hunting, the guy that killed the bird was in a tree, actually.
Really?
We heard this bird across this big meadow, and I set up underneath the tree. I'd never been turkey hunting. I got like Nikes on and barely any camo, and he's like, "Oh, I'll just climb up in this tree." Climbs up there, this bird comes right in. He told me not to move, so I didn't move. Like, I didn't even move my gun. I just sat there and kind of watched him like, wow, this is really cool. And takes him out, and he was in the tree like 15 feet. So, yeah, that's kind of funny you said that.
Man, wow. I can't believe he didn't fall out of the tree.
Yeah.
Whenever a turkey comes in, I just get the biggest adrenaline rush. I can't even imagine.
You go blind, huh?
Yep.
This many years, it's still good.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, so is that story with you going out with your friend and killing that first turkey, did that just hook you, or did you grow up with it?
Instant hook right there.
Yep.
And after that day, it never quit, and it's just gotten stronger, I think.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah, there's something special about these birds.
Yeah, I have one question, and it pertains to camo, and this is more of a personal question, and maybe someone out there is also curious. So the two animals that we hunt, ducks and turkeys, are the most sensitive to sight. And I've always been curious, do you have any recommendations on camo patterns? Because I kind of dove into that a little bit. It's not so, guys wear a red flannel and blue jeans for deer and elk and whatnot, but for turkeys and ducks, you have to be really cautious with that. So do you have any recommendations?
I pretty much just wear all the KUIU stuff. I usually, for the springtime, obviously, I'm going to go with like a more green pattern.
Yeah.
I don't think that gloves are a necessity, but definitely a face mask is a necessity.
Yeah.
Having your entire face covered up, up to your nose, and then having a hat or a beanie or something. But mostly, I mean, you can wear any camo that's out there. I mean,
Yeah.
And as long as you're just picking, a decently wide tree where it's going to cover your shoulders, and kind of just picking a decent spot to sit, and you don't move, he's gonna get close enough for you to get a shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think movement has more than anything to do with it with a turkey. I know a couple guys that I guide with that, he guides and he wears blue jeans and a long sleeve shirt, but he's more guidance, so he kind of just tucks himself in, somewhere where he's kind of out of sight from where the hunter is going to shoot the bird, but he's out there in blue jeans every day. So,
Wow.
Man. That just sounds miserable. For wearing wet blue jeans is not fun. I
got him a pair of Kuiu pants, and he got a couple other pairs for me now. He likes them a lot more comfortable. Dries out fast. The springtime, it can be wet every morning. Usually there's dew in the grass. I always wear gaiters and stuff, and good waterproof boots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
I was curious from your perspective, what is special about Oregon turkey hunting? Why might people prefer it over other places where you can hunt turkeys?
We just where I hunt, the land itself is just some of the most beautiful country to me, anyways. It's just how green it is, and it's just it's big country, big pine forest. It's just, for me, it's where I want to be. You're chasing them in the same places that you're chasing elk in the fall, but it's just it's a different time of year. It's just different.
Yeah.
You wake like in the morning time, once the sun's coming up, all the birds start chirping and going crazy, and there's nothing like it.
Yeah. I agree.
We always ask this question at the end of the show for every guest. I'm curious what your perspective is. What's your spiritual connection to your life in the outdoors?
That's pretty much my church out there. I don't really attend church otherwise. I'm not saying that I'm, not a, spiritual guy or anything. But I'm just at peace out there, I guess. It's just, that's what I just like to do. I like to be out there. It just kind of calms my mind a little bit. If I had a rough winter or, just anything, I get out in the outdoors and it just kind of all goes away.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm not saying that when I get back, it's not there, but
the therapeutic side of it.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm hearing. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it kind of drives your connection to your outdoor lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Well, maybe that's because we were, meant to be in nature, and that all this technology and comforts and
absolutely this next generation is pretty soft, if you ask me.
The iPad kids.
Yeah.
My kids like the hunting and the fishing so far. They're still pretty young, so hopefully not all of them are going to be too soft.
No, it's a lot of how you raised your kids. So, you guys keep your kids in the outdoors and just keep them having fun out there, and they're going to be doing it for the rest of their lives.
That's for most of us, maybe not necessarily for me, but that's how we all got started. Parents taking you out and exposing it to some regard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My dad, an old ex-baseball coach, as soon as I could hold a shotgun, I was out duck hunting with him.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, David, did we cover everything that you wanted to talk about today?
Yeah. I mean, you guys' show, so you ask the questions.
Great.
I do want to ask one more question. What is your favorite recipe for turkeys?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I usually will do like turkey tacos, or I will do like turkey and dumplings instead of chicken and dumplings, like in the crock pot.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
That does sound good.
Your turkey tacos that's not ground turkey. Is that like a
Yeah,
crock
so
pot?
I'll take 1 or 2 breasts, however many people are going to be here or whatever, and I usually do it in the Instapot because we got one of those now. But add some spices in there and stuff like that, and then just Instapot it so it just all falls apart and kind of shredded turkey. So
That's the good stuff. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Man, I'm feeling a little hungry. It's almost dinner time, isn't it? Sweet. Well, could you plug your whatever it is, your social medias, your call company? Like, where can people follow you, and where can people learn more about your calls and your guiding?
Yeah, so I got a page for every single one. I got David Van Epps Guide Service. It's on Facebook and Instagram. Oregon Custom Calls is, I think I got a Reddit page. I got Facebook and Instagram. And David Van Epps is my main Facebook page. And Turkey Slaying Savage is my main Instagram page.
Nice. And then you're pretty involved with the Oregon Turkey Hunters Facebook group as well.
Yep, yeah. A guy named Ron French is the guy who originally started that group, and he added me as an admin, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago or so. And then we got a couple other admins now, but he's getting pretty old, and he's, doing other stuff than that. So I kind of run it for the most part, and we try to keep it. I try to post the Michael Chamberlain's Turkey Tuesdays every Tuesday. I post on there. It's a little just tidbit from him every week. He does them almost every week. And if you want to find any turkey information, you need to look up a guy named Mike Chamberlain. He is the man when it comes to turkey biology. He's been studying him for 35 years. The guy is just an unbelievable wealth of knowledge when it comes to turkeys. I mean, anything and everything. And he's doing a huge part on this decline of turkeys in these other states, on trying to find out why it's happening and, trying to get it back on track. So
yeah, that's cool.
It's great to have guys like that in your community.
Yeah.
He is something else. Those guys do a number, but if you want to find any, he will answer you on Facebook too if you ask him a question.
Oh, really?
Wow.
So, yep. He will answer you. He knows what he's talking about too. So,
Well, David, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for being on. Gage, Jericho, thank you. And to the listener, hope you enjoyed listening. Don't forget to follow David and keep up with what he's doing, and buy some of his calls, and see if maybe in 2027, when he's not booked out, 2026, you can maybe do a turkey hunt with him. But
you guys get out there. See ya.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys better send me some pictures of turkeys, dead turkeys.
Yeah, all right, sounds good.
Will do.
Yeah, see you guys later.
Bye.
So